has all of the emotions in songs. When you're screaming it in the car, or you're screaming it in the shower, or you're screaming at the Eras tour. Sad girl one. It's the sad girl playlist. It's gonna be interesting. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do another Tortured Poets Department video. Basically just going to be kind of talking about the Tortured Poets Department. Now, as of time of recording, it has not come out yet. We pretty much don't know a lot about it, but what has just come out basically are these playlists that Taylor has done. So on Apple Music, Taylor has released 5 playlists, and these playlists are about the 5 themes of Heartbreak, and she has put some of her old songs into these playlists. So I kind of want to have a look at like the songs that are in these playlists and stuff, and the messages she put before each of these. So if you're looking for these playlists, you might be like, where on earth are they? If you scroll down on Apple Music and you get to the artist playlist bit, you click on that, you go down, it is further down, blah, 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 and they are here. So these are where these playlists, you can find them. Let's go through the first one. Now, the first playlist of all of this is I Love You, It's Ruining My Life. Now, basically, when Taylor released each of the different variants of the Tortured Poets Department, they all had like a little, what we presume is a lyric on the back, and this is one of the lyrics that was on the back of one of these. Now, this particular lyric is on the back of the normal manuscript version, so we presume that these are lyrics, and I imagine that they are lyrics for the specific songs for each of the variants, because I think that kind of makes sense. It makes sense to me. So I imagine this might be a lyric from the manuscript, or maybe it's just a cute kind of like poetry thing Taylor wanted to put in. We don't know, which is exciting. That's what I really love about a Taylor album release, is that you can do so many like theories with it and stuff, and like they could be so wrong. Like I feel like with Midnights we were so wrong, because I was like, there's a phone on there, she's going to talk about like the phone call and all that, and no. Okay, so this is the message from Taylor. I'm just going to read it out for you all, and this is at the start of this playlist. So she does a voice note, so if you do have Apple Music, you can listen to them, but obviously I can't kind of play them for you, so I'll just read them out to you. I will not put on an American accent, not today. Hey Apple Music, welcome to the I Love You, It's Ruining My Life playlist. This is a list of songs about getting so caught up in the idea of something that you have a hard time seeing the red flags, possibly resulting in moments of denial, and maybe a little bit of delusion. Results may vary. So that is the first of these playlists, and what is on this playlist is, let's have a look. So we've got it here. So we've got a message from Taylor, and the songs that are on this playlist are as follows. Lavender Haze, Snow on the Beach, featuring more Lana Del Rey from the Till Dawn edition, Sweet Nothing, Glitch, Betty, Willow, Cruel Summer, Lover, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, False God, Style Taylor's version, Wildest Dreams Taylor's version, Treacherous Taylor's version, Untouchable Taylor's version, That's When Taylor's version, Ours Taylor's version, Superman Taylor's version, and Bejeweled. So they are all the songs that are on that. There are 19 songs on this, which I think is very interesting. And I also think it's very interesting to have songs from Lover on this, and I think that's what a lot of people kind of took away from this, is that these songs are essentially about denial, so I think it's very interesting to have Lover on this. And I think people have said all sorts of things now, basically they're like, the whole album of Lover is now so sad and stuff because it's about one relationship that ended, and now I can't listen to it the same way. People had this at the first dance at the wedding, now they can't because it's a denial song. You can still have Lover as the first dance at your wedding. And if you had Lover at the first dance of your wedding, good for you. Congratulations on getting married. Like, there is nothing wrong with interpreting songs the way you want to interpret them. And obviously when Lover came out, it is an album about love. It is still an album about love. We can't rewrite history, because I think people are kind of taking another look at the lyrics and being like, this actually isn't romantic. But it depends on the way you look at it, because I think the whole of Lover, I think it is romantic. I mean, at every table I'll serve you a seat. That is one particular lyric people are like, oh, it's because he was never there and stuff. But for me personally, what I think of that is that everywhere you go, you'll always have a space, say, for them. Like, Lover is still a romantic song. Like, Lover the album is still about love. It's just when you look back, if it was about a particular relationship, it would be different. But also, like, interpret Taylor Swift songs the way you want to interpret them, but don't also, like, belittle other people for the way they interpret them, I think, if it doesn't, like, cause any harm. Because Lover, it's still a love song, and if you, like, associate Lover with, like, your personal relationships and Taylor Swift songs in general with your life, I think that's great, and I think Taylor has encouraged that. Actually, on the Eras tour, before she performed Lover, she even said, like, these songs were written about a particular moment in my life, but they, like, kind of change meaning, and there'll be a different meaning for you, because they'll be about your life now. When she puts them out in the world, she has given us the right to kind of interpret them for our personal situations, our personal relationships and stuff. So I don't think we should kind of look too deep into it. I think, for me personally, I don't really like to delve into like relationships and stuff, like Taylor's like exes and stuff, or like put them on slideshows and say this song is about this person, this song is about that person, because I don't think that's really fair on her, because I just don't. I think for me with these playlists as well, I think what's interesting about them is the songs that are in there in terms of how you can view it. I just don't think it's as deep as people are kind of making it out to be. But I think it's still interesting. Like, one that I think is really, really interesting is Lavender Haze. So Lavender Haze is obviously a song basically about Taylor being like, she doesn't want that 1950s stuff kind of on her. People are putting all this pressure on her to get married, but in the past she talked about wanting to get married and stuff. So it's very interesting to see how her opinions changed, and then how her opinions have changed again. But again, it's not really up to us to kind of decide what Taylor can or cannot do. I don't know. It's a weird one, I think. I think it's going to be a very tricky album release, but I think we really need to remember what Taylor said before she performed Dear John on the Eras tour, before Speak Now Taylor's version came out, being like, you know, with this, it came out, what, 14 years ago now, originally in 2010. Things happen and stuff, but don't send hate to people, essentially. And I think that is something we could very much learn as Swifties. Not me in particular, I personally don't, but I know a lot of them, as soon as anyone says anything bad about Taylor, they're going to that comment section and they're commenting the snake emojis, which is what impacted Taylor so much. He turned all the comments off and stuff. So personally for me, I really don't like it when people do that exact same thing to people who have like said stuff about her. I think there are better ways to kind of get people not to do that. I think by doing that, you are just making people dislike Taylor, because they're like, oh, Taylor's clearly sent this mob after us, and I just don't agree with that. Okay, that was just a little bit of a ramble, wasn't it? That was a ramble, but let me know in the comments what you think about this and stuff, because obviously everyone has their own opinions, and I'd love to know what people's opinions are on this. Next up, we have the You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad playlist. Hey Apple Music, welcome to my You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad playlist. These songs all have one thing in common. I wrote them while feeling anger. Over the years, I've learned that anger can manifest itself in a lot of different ways, but the healthiest way that it manifests itself in my life is when I can write a song about it, and then oftentimes that helps me get past it, which I really, really like. So that is great. So that is the You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad playlist. So the songs on here are Vigilante, High Infidelity, Would've, Could've, Should've, Exile, Illicit Affairs, Mad Woman, Tolerate It, Bad Blood, obviously these are all Taylor's version, Is It Over Now, I Knew You Were Trouble, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, The Last Time, The Moment I Knew, Babe, I Bet You Think About Me, Dear John, Better Than Revenge, Tell Me Why, You're Not Sorry, Forever and Always, and Mr. Perfectly Fine. So these are songs that Taylor wrote while angry. I had someone be very confused about Exile being like written about being angry, but like when you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's quite obvious that it's like, I gave so many signs. Like, I feel like it's obviously like an angry kind of song, and it doesn't mean things were going on in her life at that time and stuff. Sometimes it can just be that you are just like angry in the moment about something that's happened in the past and stuff, and you just want to get it out there. Like, if you've not ever just been there like randomly just like in bed trying to fall asleep and just being like, oh, remember that argument I had with that person years ago, and you get yourself all like worked up about it. No? Just me? So I think people are just kind of reading a lot into these playlists. Maybe, I guess that's what we're doing today. So yeah, I think it's interesting people's opinions on it. But yeah, I think with the other ones you can really kind of tell, like, I mean, Would've, Could've, Should've is very, very obviously a Mad Woman. Very, very obviously like anger. And I think it's really great to kind of have songs that have those emotions, because it helps you kind of get them out when you're screaming it in the car, or you're screaming it in the shower, or you're screaming at the Eras tour. So I do really like that she has all of the emotions in songs. Next up, we have the Am I Allowed to Cry playlist. So, hi Apple Music, you have found the Am I Allowed to Cry playlist. This playlist takes you through the songs that I've written when I was in the bargaining stage. Times when, you know, you're trying to make deals with yourself or someone that you care about. You're trying to make things better. You're oftentimes feeling really desperate, because oftentimes we have a sort of gut intuition that tells us things are not going to go the way that we hope, which makes us more desperate, which makes us bargain more. Hope you enjoy the playlist. So that is the Am I Allowed to Cry playlist. Songs on this include The Great War, This Is Me Trying, Peace, The Archer, Cornelia Street, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Soon You'll Get Better, Afterglow, I Wish You Would, Say Don't Go, Come Back Be Here, Better Man, The Story of Us, Haunted, Coming with the Rain, The Other Side of the Door, If This Was a Movie, and Renegade. Now what I really like about this playlist is it had a Renegade on, obviously song with Big Red Machine. I love that song, it's so underrated, so I love that that's on there. And I also think by having Soon You'll Get Better on this, obviously with the chicks, I think it's very interesting that it's not just about romantic relationships, these playlists, it's the bargaining stage for everything, because obviously in Soon You'll Get Better she's like just begging for things to kind of get better essentially. So I really, really like that it's not just romantic relationships, and I think that's what we should focus on with this playlist. It's about the feelings in general, I think, and that's how she categorizes them, like how she categorizes like the glitter pen and stuff, like those sort of things. It's how she categorizes them, even if they're not all like about the same sort of emotion, like situation. They're all about the same emotions. They're not all about the same situation. They're not all about romantic relationships, but also kind of, yeah. So I really like that. Like with Bad Blood and the last one, like it's anger, but it's not anger at relationship, it's anger at people. It's anger at people. Now people will have noticed, obviously there's no reputation in any of this. I think the reason for no reputation simply is that she doesn't own Reputation, so that's why I don't think there's any reputation, because I definitely think Reputation would be on the anger one. Next up, Old Habits Die Screaming playlist. Hi Apple Music, welcome to my Old Habits Die Screaming playlist, where we're going to be exploring the feelings of depression that often lace their way through my songs. In times like these, I'll write a song because I feel lonely or hopeless, and writing a song feels like the only way to protest that intensity of an emotion. And while these things are really, really hard to go through, I often feel like when I'm either listening to these songs or writing songs that deal with this intensity of loss and hopelessness, usually that's in the phase where I'm getting close to past that feeling. So I really love that. So that is the Old Habits Die Screaming one. Let's have a look at what's on that playlist. So we've got Bigger Than the Whole Sky, Dear Reader, Maroon, You're Losing Me, My Tears Ricochet, Epiphany, Hoax, Champagne Problems, Coney Island, Right Where You Left Me, Nothing New, All Too Well, Forever Winter, We Were Happy, Last Kiss, Castles Crumbling, Carolina, and White Horse. Now, again, what's really, really interesting about this is that Carolina's on here, I think, because obviously that was a song written for Where the Crawdads Sing, and it's one of those underrated Taylor songs, so I really like that that's in there, and I think these are really interesting because these are some really, really sad like Taylor songs, but as she said, like this is when she's close to getting over it, so when she's feeling these really, really intense emotions of these songs, because some of these are really sad. I mean, All Too Well, Last Kiss, You're Losing Me are really, really sad songs, so it's kind of like hopeful that this is kind of the last stage before you get to that like acceptance stage. So I really, really like that. I think this is a great playlist, and it's the sad girl one. It's the sad girl playlist. And then last but not least, we have I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Now, I'm super excited for this song on the album. I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful song. I'm really excited for it. Yeah, I think this is one of the ones I'm most excited for. But anyway, this is this playlist. Hey Apple Music, you've made it to my I Can Do It With a Broken Heart playlist, where we finally find acceptance and can start moving forward from loss or heartbreak. These songs represent making room for more good in your life, making that choice, because a lot of the times when we lose things, we gain things too. I really love this. It also kind of feels like, especially that last sentence, like she lost him but she found herself, like those are the vibes I'm getting from this. And it kind of almost feels like some of the like words in this, like that she's almost like doing secret messages again. Obviously, I know she's not doing secret messages, but like the words in it kind of remind me of the secret messages, which I really, really like. And it makes me more excited for the album. So the songs that are on this are You're On Your Own Kid, Midnight Rain, Labyrinth, The One, August, Invisible String, Happiness, Long Story Short, Closure, Evermore, It's Time to Go, I Forgot That You Existed, Daylight, This Love, Clean, Now That We Don't Talk, Begin Again, Innocent, and Breathe. So these are really good ones. And again, Taylor is doing them about a mix of different things, because obviously we know Innocent is about the VMA incident in 2009 with Kanye West and stuff, and when she forgave him in this song, which is a really, really beautiful song, especially to be written so young as well. I think it's so beautiful. But then you've got like ones about kind of romantic ones as well, so it would have been fun if you were the one. But again, you can interpret these in so many different ways, and I think, especially when I was younger, I interpreted a lot of Taylor songs but even about kind of obviously about relationships, I interpreted them in a way that was like, oh, this is kind of about friendships as well, because a friendship loss is still a loss. And that's what I really like about Taylor's music, is that you can interpret it in so many different ways. And what I also love, it starts with You're On Your Own Kid, because I think You're On Your Own Kid is one of Taylor's like most beautiful track fives. It's the most hopeful of all of them, because at the end it's like so sad, but then she's like, make those friendship bracelets, like Take the Moment, Taste It. I absolutely love that song so much. It's becoming my favourite Taylor song. I just think it kind of represents everything her music kind of stands for. It's just so beautiful, so I'm a huge fan of that. But yeah, they are all of the playlists Taylor put on Apple Music. I definitely think they are interesting, and I think it's going to be a really interesting album. So what do you think about the playlist? Let me know in the comments. I think it's really interesting to hear different people's different perspectives on the playlist. So let me know, because I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, let me know what you think about the playlist in the comments and your opinions on all of this. Obviously, you're free to disagree with me, even if you're wrong. I'm joking, don't worry. Obviously, you're free to disagree with me. You're free to disagree with people in the comments. Always make sure you keep it nice and friendly. But I am really interested to hear people's opinions on it and what they kind of think the album's going to sound like. Now, there are rumours it was synth pop or pop. It's been listed as rock/pop, which is usually what pop is always under. So it's not particularly it's going to be rock. They just kind of put them under the same category a lot of the time. So imagine we're going to get some kind of pop album. But they also listed Red Taylor's version as pop as well. And I think maybe Evermore is pop. So we never really know what it's going to sound like, because obviously they all sound very, very different. So I'm super excited for it. I think I may do a reaction video. I've not decided yet, but I will definitely be doing an unboxing. I have ordered all the CDs, all the vinyl, all the cassettes for the first time, so don't be too excited. I'll be doing cassette unboxings, so I'm super excited for all them. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're coming back, thank you so much. Please like as well. That would be super cool. Helps me so much with the channel. And I hope you're excited as well for the videos. I will try to do them as close to possible as when the album is released, obviously. I don't know how long it'll take. Sometimes like deliveries just take a little bit longer, but fingers crossed they all come at once and I can kind of do it then, because I would rather do it like a video about a CD, a video about a vinyl, and then a video about a cassette. But I ordered them all separately, so it may be that I do each of the different versions. So I do the manuscript first, and then I do the Bolter and that. But we will see in terms of when they come. Ideally, they'll all come at once, so I can do them separate by the different format. If not, then I'll do them separate by the different like tracks. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been interesting to dive into it. I've given a lot of my just ramblings. I do ramble a lot. I like a ramble. But yeah, I hope you like this video, and thank you so much for watching. And as always, have a great day.